you. Senator O'Sullivan.
Thank you very much, Chair. Now, there wouldn't be an estimate to go by without a West Australian asking about GST. So I'll keep with that. So I'd like to turn to the Productivity Commission's upcoming review of the GST distribution arrangements. Can you tell me, since the last election, how many briefs or pieces of written advice has Treasury provided ministers regarding the 2026 Productivity Commission review of the GST distribution?
I doubt we're going to be able to answer that off the top of our head, Senator. We'll probably have to take that on notice.
Sure. When did Treasury last model the fiscal impact of the so-called no worse off guarantee?
We would have, the last place that the no worse off guarantee would be is in the budget, and we will be updating it for the MyEFO.
Okay, so that's in the process at the moment.
Yes, Senator.
What is the Treasury's latest estimate of the Commonwealth's fiscal exposure to the no worse off guarantee?
Be in the budget.
Yeah. Do you have the numbers? Do you want to read them out?
Yes, Senator. So the 25-26 estimated GST-related payments to the states and territories is $100.1 billion.
And that's in this year's budget, is it? So you can't give me, I'd have to wait for my EFO to see
Not yet.
the latest, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the latest number, Senator. That's right.
Oh, that is the latest?
That's the latest. So that's the budget numbers are the latest numbers at the moment.
Sure.
But they'll be updated
Yep, they'll be
in the
updated.
next
Yeah.
month. Yeah, or
Okay.
this month.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Given the Productivity Commission has been directed to consider alternative GST distribution models, has Treasury costed any alternative models?
When you say directed to, I mean, there is a review that was required
By legislation.
by legislation,
Sure.
exactly.
No, Senator, I don't believe so.
Has Treasury modelled any alternative distribution model that resulted in a lower distribution at all for Western Australia?
I wouldn't characterise it as modelled, no.
Okay. Just one. Thank you for providing me some answers, questions from last time in relation to the special purpose payments. It's really helpful to understand where the payments are going to the states there. So I'm referring to Quan SBE 104. Treasury tables show that Western Australia's infrastructure payments have fallen from $2.397 billion in 2025-26 to just $68 million in 28-29. That's a 71% reduction. Now, no other state has seen a decline of that scale. And if I go back and to look at the year before, on page 7, in fact, it was a $4.179 billion payment to Western Australia for infrastructure. So it's even greater, like 81% thereabouts, I think. Drop in resources going to Western Australia for infrastructure. So no other state, if I look at those tables, shows any decline anywhere near that. Can Treasury explain why WA is singled out for the largest proportional reduction in the country?
Senator, this is a question for infrastructure, but I would suggest that infrastructure is one of those programs where it ebbs and flows between states over time, depending on the projects that are being built in those states. As I understand it, a significant amount of that money in the current year and recent years is for MetroNet, which has been a large program a very large program in WA, and it might well be the case that it's declining because we don't have a similar sized replacement project in the pipeline right at the moment. And I think if you go back over time, you will see that that's true for all states. I mean, almost every state I can remember has at some point complained about similar sorts of things, whether that's they're not getting their population share or somehow they're below someone else. It is one of those programs where by its nature the projects are lumpy and big and tend to come and go. But I can't add specifically as to why this particular pattern looks like that at the moment.
Because obviously there's a very significant reduction. So in order to keep that pipeline of investment in WA going, there needs to presumably be projects that are presented to infrastructure. And so
they are, believe me, very well represented by
but it's not represented
WA
in
state government.
not represented in the budget. And so we're not seeing... There's letters of exchange between Minister King and Minister Safiotti, but there's nothing in the budget, as we can see, down to 600.
I think those questions are better placed to infrastructure. There's a pipeline. You know, the states are all involved in discussions around what they need and when they need it. And WA argue very strongly and get a lot of support from this government. We're very happy to do so. We work well with them.
Did the Commonwealth consider WA's population growth, its export role and road freight burden when allocating infrastructure
It's a
investment?
matter for infrastructure. Treasury, fiscal group can't answer those questions.
So, sure. Given that the forward estimates show a major contraction in WA's infrastructure payment while other states retain much higher levels, can Treasury confirm whether decisions on infrastructure special purpose payments were made independent of any GST distribution, and specifically whether WA's GST floor played any role at all, whether it directly or indirectly, in reducing WA's infrastructure allocations?
They're completely separate matters. Our engagement with states on health, on you know, any area really, on infrastructure, on all of the areas we engage with them are in addition to the GST, which, as you know, and we've got the Commonwealth Grants Commission, I think, appearing later tonight. Commonwealth Grants Commission to talk through about how they reach their conclusions.
Okay.
The only other thing I'd add, Senator, is even with the reduction in infrastructure, there is growth in WA, overall state payments to WA across that period. So the other ones are all still growing as well and providing more money, including the GST-related payments.
Well, every other state got an even bigger growth, is, I guess, the other point to make there. Now, look, that's fine. I'll follow that up again. Infrastructure, by the way, did send me to you to ask these questions. So.
Did they?
Yeah, they always do. That is... They've sent me to Defence as well to ask about roads around Henderson. Anyway, that's it. Thanks, Chair.
Authorised by Matt O'Sullivan, Liberal Party, Perth.